Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll keep your plate like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen the represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
Duper Road in Pinsville. Welcome to today, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025 edition of the program News Desk. News Desk is a 45-minute news presentation from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. This news program is powered by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. I'm Naketa Roberts presenting. In the headlines, the Executive Protection Service, EPS, threatens to withdraw security protection from VIP who publicly advocates for insurrection, rebellion, or violent protests against the government. Following thorough investigation into alleged academic fraud, University of Liberia dismisses its employees and suspended one with immediate effect. Another unsafe home delivery leaves 38-year-old woman and her baby dead in Pinsville as suspect faces investigation. Out of Liberia, now police in South Africa launched investigation after the bodies of 3 police officers who had been missing for 6 days were found in a river. These developments plus more, including the voices of the news makers, the bulletin of news, sports, are all packaged for you on today's edition of the program News Desk. Let's take a short break to be right back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't
Back and thanks for rejoining us. Up next is the Bulletin of News with Gbarntolmah. Good evening, Johnson.
Good evening, Naketa. Good evening to all. The Executive Protection Service has threatened to withdraw its personnel from VIP seen publicly advocating for insurrection, rebellion, or violent protests against the government of Liberia. The EPS expressed concern about recent public statements made by certain officials, which it said amount to cause for chaos and violent disruption of public order. The release further noted that protectees who actively engage in or incite violence or rebellion against the government forfeits the privilege of EPS protection. As such, conduct directly contradicts the EPS constitutional and operational responsibilities. The EPS reassures its commitment to providing professional, impartial, and robust protection to all its designated protectees, but emphasized that it cannot and would not be used as an instrument to undermine the peace, security, and constitutional order of the Republic. Another home delivery has claimed the life of a 38-year-old woman in Monrovia. Mary Joan, commonly called Ma Mary, conducted a home delivery that led to the death of a 38-year-old named Rachel Doe and her child in the Gbarntolmah community. Mary Joan explaining to Joint Security and the Liberia Medical and Dental Council on Tuesday said she conducted a successful stillbirth delivery on the victim, but hours after the victim started complaining of waste and later started bleeding, something that led to her death. Speaking at the same, the Deputy Director for Public Safety at the Ministry of Justice, John Brooks Golates, called on the public to avoid home delivery and go to recognized health facilities. He said most home delivery facilities do not meet this standard, leading to the loss of lives. John Barros Golate maintained that the Ministry of Justice is not taking these incidents lightly, assuring the public that suspects will be prosecuted. Meanwhile, Mary John has been handed over to the Liberian National Police by the Liberian Medical and Dental Council for investigation and subsequent prosecution. In another development, the Liberian Medical and Dental Council has issued a temporary suspension on the suction-based vacuum therapy procedures conducted by Fortune Skincare. Although vacuum therapy is characterized as a non-surgical procedure, the LMDC emphasized that the international best practices require practitioners to be trained in cardiopulmonary and the first aid, possesses comprehensive knowledge of skincare, fat and muscle anatomy, and demonstrate in safe suction levels, appreciate or appropriate cup replacement, and infection control measures. In such case, Liberia regulations stipulate the equipment must be approved and certified by the Liberian Medicine and Health Products Regulatory Authority and operated exclusively by trained professionals with a covered doctor to manage complications. In response to the suspension, according to an LMDC release, Fortune Skincare has submitted documents for review and validation of its operators' qualification. The Liberia Medical and Dental Council said facility has also been operating with both LMDC and LMHRA to ensure compliance with national health and safety standards. The Liberian National Bar Association has come in sharp defense of Article 33 of the 1986 Constitution, contrary to the Supreme Court's interpretation in its ruling in Speaker Fernando Kofa's amended Bill of Information. Article 33 of the 1986 Constitution says the House of Representatives shall elect once every 6 years a Speaker who shall be the presiding officer of that body, a deputy speaker, and such other officers as shall ensure the proper functioning of the House. It added the Speaker and Deputy Speaker and other officers so elected may be removed from office for cause by resolution of two-thirds majority of the House members. The Bar President, Councillor Gbarntolmah, said the LMBA defense of Article 33 advances the idea that for any sitting of the legislature that has quorum to be considered unconstitutional, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker or any ranking officer must be absent, or in other words, not present or available. He noted that presence and availability in this instance does not merely denote being within the physical confines of the designated area, but also properly seated amongst the similar colleagues and ready to exercise one's constitutional functions. Meanwhile, the citizens' movement for change has described as disappointing statements by the president of the Liberian National Bar Association, which the CMC says openly does denigrate the Supreme Court. The CMC, in a release late Tuesday, noted that as an institution whose core mandate is to uphold, defend, and protect the rule of law, the National Bar Association must be the last entity to discourage or encourage the defense of the judiciary authority. The party termed a statement of the bar as an appalling betrayal of those principles and utter of the very judiciary integrity that the bar is supposed to defend. The CMC said the posture of the LMBA president not only undermines public confidence in the judiciary, but poses a dangerous threat for the country's democracy. The release quotes the CMC as demanding that the leadership and members of the Liberian National Bar Association immediately clarify whether the recent statement reflects the official position of the bar or is merely the personal view of its president. The CMC said at a time when the country is seeking judicial stability, the intervention by the bar has injected tension, disappointment, and confusion into the democratic space. About 7 students of the University of Liberia have been forwarded to court for criminal prosecution in connection to the Monday, April 28, 2025 incident on the main campus of the university. The students were engaged in violent protest at the University of Liberia main campus, where they set up blocks and threw stone that resulted into the destruction of properties, including a police vehicle. They were reportedly demanding the resignation of the Dean of Students Affairs at the University of Liberia, Sekou Kanem. The 7 students, according to RCI judicial correspondent, were forwarded to court on Wednesday, where their lawyer, former Solicitor General, Councillor Serena Sifos, requested for continuance on the matter on grounds that he was just retained as lawyer and pleaded for time to acquaint himself with the client's case file. Prosecuting lawyers interposed no objection to Councillor Sifos' request to the court, which led to Magistrate Matthew Boplet granting the submission as provided by law. However, Magistrate Boplet informed the defendants to proffer a valid criminal appearance bond in connection to the defense or offenses that brought them under the jurisdiction of the court for prosecution. The Ministry of Public Works has ended a major demolition exercise along the SKD community in Painesville as part of preparations for the construction of more hair bridges in the country. During the demolition process on Wednesday, Deputy Public Works Minister for Planning, Howard Belletti, emphasized the importance of the initiative for the construction of the bridges, which he said would give access to the constructors to carry on the construction. Mr. Belletti also clarified that the residents of the SKD community were informed prior about the demolition exercise. According to him, the demolition exercise is essential for granting access to government properties, which will facilitate various development projects aimed at improving transportation and public safety. For his part, the youth focal person of District 6 Representative Sam Endos John Dolo has expressed frustration about the exercise. Nobel laureate Lema Bowie has underscored the need to orientate the Liberian society to ensure that women actively participating in political race to win. She said women should never view and accept political activities as the people's think because it is static aimed at scaring them from bravely participating in political activities. Madam Bowie made this statement when she delivered the keynote speech marking the 6th graduation ceremony of over 150 females from the Go Girl Leadership Training Institute organized by the Book Before Boys with funding from the British Embassy in Monrovia. According to Madam Lema Bowie, a woman may not be elected as president of Liberia for the next 50 years if Liberians continue to view political activities as the people think. The chairperson of the Political Science Department of the University of Liberia, Professor Richmond Anderson, has distanced the department from art of hooliganism on the campuses of the university. Professor Anderson's term as unpleasant fingers bent directed to the Political Science Department whenever there is negative occurrence on the campus. According to or speaking Wednesday at program marking the validation of the Constitution for the department, the one-time Maswara County District 12 representative noted that the department does not produce politicians, but rather political scientists who will shape the destiny of the nation. According to him, as a university with many colleges and departments, the political science department, being singled out, represents a negative perception about the department. Professor Richmond Anderson has, however, admonished students to continue to conduct themselves in a way that will reflect positive impact on the department and the university at large. The Supreme Court has announced the suspension of all court activities in the country for Friday, May 2, 2025. The court's decision, according to RCI judicial correspondent, is to allow all judges, magistrates, and lawyers to participate in the activities marking the observance of Law Day scheduled for Friday, May 2, 2025. This year's event is being held under the theme Justice, Accountability, and Inclusion, Building a Stronger Liberia under the Rule of Law. Our judicial correspondent said the day-long event will be held at Valley Johnson Salif Ministerial Complex in Congo Town, and Chief Justice Sianayo has urged all judges, magistrates, and lawyers to be in attendance. The Liberian Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, in collaboration with the World Bank, has officially launched the 2025 Household Income and Expenditure Survey. The Household Income and Expenditure Survey seeks to collect critical data to inform evidence-based policy decisions and improved economic social planning. According to latest press release, the survey, which is being conducted across the 15 counties, will gather key information on household income expenditure, food security, health, education, and employment among socio-economic indicators. The outcome of the survey will provide political or policymakers, development partners, civil society, and researchers with valuable insights into the living condition of Liberia's population. This initiative, supported by the World Bank, Harmonizing and Improving Statistics in West Africa project, a regional initiative aimed at strengthening statistical capacity and improving the quality of data across several West African countries. The University of Liberia had dismissed 8 employees and suspended 1 with immediate effect after an investigation found they participated in the suspicion or admission of academic fraud and misconduct. Announcing the decision on Tuesday, UR President Dr. Lily Mapoyon warned that on her watch, the University of Liberia will be restored to academic integrity and academic excellence, and its educational mission will be freed from the academic misconduct and corrupt academic practices. Those dismissed are Mr. Arthur Sharp, Chairman, Public Administration Department, Mr. Toxin Luis, Instructor and Clearing Officer, Department of Public Administration, Mr. Kofaso, Coordinator and Technical Assistant, Dean's Representative on the Clearing Team, Public Administration Department, Mr. Ramson Dupadas, Deputy Registrar Officer of Enrollment Services. Additionally, the university has suspended Aaron Singbe, the second Associate Vice President and Registrar. Meanwhile, the university has reinstated Ms. Mercy Kwekwe, Data Entry Clerk, Business College, and Mr. Augustine Gabi, Coordinator Business College. The decision comes after a month-long or 4 months investigation of facts related to several instances of alleged academic practices or malpractices and misconduct at the University of Liberia. And away from Liberia, police in South Africa are searching for answers after the body of 3 officers were found. The 3 officers were last seen leaving a patrol station near Johannesburg last Wednesday. The bodies were discovered by dance around the 70 kilometers away from the river along the remains of 2 other unknown persons. Thus, the news bulletin is back to Naketa Ravos.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in your grateful manner, we'll keep your better Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary at 12. My name is Hansen there represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life as of the presidency?
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Myean TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
For bringing us the bulletin of news on today's edition of the program News That Top Stories. We are following tonight. Executive Protection Service threatens to withdraw security protection from VIP who publicly advocates for insurrection, rebellion, or violent protest against the government. Following thorough investigation into alleged academic fraud, University of Liberia dismissed 8 employees and suspended 1 with immediate effect. Another, a safe home delivery, leaves 38-year-old woman and her baby dead in Painesville as suspect faces investigation. And out of Liberia, police in South Africa launched investigation after the bodies of 3 police officers who had been missing for 6 days were found in a river. The Executive Protection Service has threatened to withdraw its personnel from VIP seen publicly advocating for insurrection, rebellion, or violent protest against the government. The EPS expressed concerns about recent public statements made by certain officials, which it says amount to calls for chaos and violent disruption of public order. The release further noted that protectees who actively engage in or incite violence or rebellion against the government forfeit their privileges of EPS protection as such conduct directly contradicts the EPS constitutional and operational responsibilities. The EPS assures its commitment to providing professional, impartial, and robust protection to all its designated protectees, but has emphasized that it cannot and would not be used as an instrument to undermine the peace, security, and constitutional order of the Republic. Today's development now, Another home delivery has claimed the life of a 38-year-old woman in Painesville. Mary Joy, commonly called Ma Mary, conducted a home delivery that led to the death of a 38-year-old woman, Rachel Doe, and her child in the Gbarntolmah community. Mary Joy, explaining to Joint Security and the Liberia Medical and Dental Council on Tuesday, said she conducted a successful stillbirth delivery on the victim, but hours after the victim started complaining, a third and later started bleeding, something that led to her death. She's Mary John, a local midwife who conducted a home delivery that led to the death of a 38-year-old woman in the Gbarntolmah community. She was explaining to the Joint Security and the Liberia Medical and Dental Council on Tuesday. Speaking at the scene, the Deputy Director for Public Safety at the Ministry of Justice, John Gbarntolmah, called on the general public to avoid home delivery and go to recognized health facilities. He is the Deputy Director for Public Safety at the Ministry of Justice, John Bas Golake. They're calling on the public to avoid home delivery and go to recognized health facilities. Meanwhile, Mary John has been handed over to the Liberia National Police by the Liberia Medical and Dental Council for investigation and subsequent prosecution. The Ministry of Public Works has ended a major demolition exercise around the Kitty community in Painesville as part of preparations for the construction of overhead bridges in the country. During the demolition process on Wednesday, Deputy Public Works Minister for Planning, Albert Bellity, emphasized the importance of the initiative for the construction of the bridges, which he said will give easy access to the contractors to carry on the construction. He is the Deputy Public Works Minister for Planning, Albert Ability. For his part, the youth first class focal person of District 6, Motorado County, John Dolo, has expressed frustration about the exercise. He is the youth focal person of District 6, Motorado County, John Dolo, there expressing frustration over the exercise of public work, that's the demolition exercise of public work around the SKD community in Pintville. About 7 students of the University of Liberia have been forwarded to court for criminal prosecution in connection to Monday, April 28, 2025 incident on the main campus of the university. The students were engaged in violent protests at the University of Liberia main campus, where they set up blocks and threw stones that resulted into the destruction of properties, including a police vehicle. They were reportedly demanding the resignation of the Dean of Students Affairs at the University of Liberia, Sekou Kanem. The 7 students, according to RCR judicial correspondent, were forwarded to court on Wednesday, where their lawyer, former Solicitor General Counsellor Serena Cephas, requested for a continuance of the matter on grounds that he was just retained as lawyer and pleaded for time to acquaint himself with his client's case. For prosecuting lawyers interposed on objection to Councillor Cephas' request to the court, which led to Magistrate Andrew Bople granting the submission as provided by law. However, Magistrate Bople informed the defendants to put forward a valid criminal appearance born in connection to the offences that was brought against them under the jurisdiction of the court for prosecution. They were prevented from going to jail after Magistrate Bople surrendered them to their lawyer on 13.5 to allow them put forward a valid criminal appearance born in a couple of days. Following the students' release, Councillor Serena Cephas spoke with RCR judicial correspondent Peter Tobe at the Temple of Justice. At this juncture, let's now cross over to the sports with Edwin Batafoyan. Good evening, Edwin.
Township Days Football Club Rangers explaining to the Myean subcommittee for Division 2024
League Championship. The team of the Sports Division League title after the 1-0 draw with Jama FC on Sunday, April 27th at the Georgia Technical Center in Torgbean in a mock water. The league sees, moreover, a match that a winner could give them championship. Will represent the community to the county national playoff. Today's development now, Liberian international player is making waves in the Libya First Division League Group 9 with Asawat FC. Since joining the club, Koba has played in 4 matches, showcasing impressive performance. He has already scored 3 goals and provided 4 assists. In the recent away game against Resco FC, Koba continued his stellar form, providing 2 assists and scoring a goal for himself, contributing significantly to 3 goals in his team victory. In less than 24 hours after the past immediate Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Zoga Wilson endorsed the re-election. The president of the Liberal People's Association LFA, Mr. Faraji, former Secretary General of the LFA, Dr. George Y. Williams, has done the same. In his endorsement statement, Dr. Williams stated that President Raji has demonstrated an unparalleled commitment to the intoxicating advancement of Liberian football, indicating that his tenure has been marked by a proven track record of honesty and trustworthiness in the administration of both public and private resources, a sharp contrast to the questionable practices of his competitors. Below, a few things George Williams mentioned. Raji is building infrastructure for the future of Liberian football. And away from like now, the UEFA Champions League semi-finals between 4 Stars kicked off on Tuesday. Paris Saint-Germain defeated Arsenal by a goal to nil at Wembley Stadium in the first leg, with the retail leg set for next Wednesday at the Paris de Prince in France, the capital of France. And FC Barcelona and Inter Milan currently 3 goal apiece after Rafinha got the late Nicolaso for Barcelona mini after Dumfries gave Inter Milan 3-2. The score remains between Barcelona 3 for the Spurs.
Many thanks. What was clear they were letting it on
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
You will get some that gonna. Many thanks to Erin Watt. From the news and current affairs department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news, Nobel laureate Leman Bowie has underscored the need to reintegrate the Liberian society to ensure that women actively participate in political race. And when she said women should never view and accept political activities as the people's thing because it is a tactics aimed at scaring them from barely participating in political activities. Madam Bowie made the statement when she delivered the keynote speech marking the 6th graduation ceremony of over 150 females from the Go Girl Leadership Training organized by the Book Before Boys with fundings from the British Embassy in Monrovia on Wednesday.
The first thing that we need to do if we're trying to get more women in political leadership in this country is a whole process of reorientation, social reorientation, whichever way you want to call it. Because if we go back into the history of our country, we gained our independence in 1847, but women did not vote until 1957. And then when the time came for women to vote 1957 or so, it was only indigenous women who owned property. Close your eyes and imagine 1957. How many women in the indigenous communities own property? Think about it, how many women own property before you talk about 1957? So technically, that law was meant to keep women out of the political debate. From 1957 up until 1985, which was one of the biggest and more contentious elections in Liberia, women were not really involved in anything. There was this slogan that automatically crept into women's faces. Politics became the people's thing. Whenever time you want to talk about political discussion, and as a very young girl in Liberia, every conversation about politics was going precisely at the time of the political activity. I would share women in the community. We know how the political just be the people's thing. So the people's thing was politics. The people's thing was men in politics. So when the role came automatically, men they should be peace. Men are the protection is a process of resocialization. Because a lot of people came from villages and villages in spaces where you can't speak. There is this thing of God start to walk on tiptoe. When you say like the Christian, there will not get to that. We can't do this, we can't do that. So we have to urge all of that problem.
She's Nobel laureate Lema Bowie there underscoring the need to reorientate the Liberian society to ensure that women actively participating in political race can win. To end this newscast now, a recap of the top stories we have been following tonight. Executive Protection Service threatens to withdraw security protection from VIP who publicly advocates for re-insurrection, rebellion, or violent protests against the government following thorough investigation into alleged academic fraud. University of Liberia dismisses its employees and suspended one with immediate effect. Another unsafe home delivery leaves 38-year-old woman and her baby dead in Peaceville as suspect faces investigation. And out of Liberia now, police in South Africa launch investigation after the bodies of 3 police officers who had been missing for 6 days were found in a river. Many thanks to our reporters, editors, contributors, writers, and all those who helped in making today's edition of the program News Desk a success. Not forgetting our sponsors Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Johnson Gbarntolmah Brothers, the Bulletin of News. Edwin Batafoyan, read for us Sport. Myean Torgbean coordinated the sounds. I've been Naketa Robert presenting. Thanks for your listening, bro, and have a blessed night.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep you later.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary at 12. My name is Hansen Delta present.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.